Hey everybody, it's Everett back from Hood Time Welding. Today we are working on another gate. This is the same customer we made a gate for about 6 months ago, and I did the video on that one. So the the hard part about this one today is we're trying to duplicate the one we already made. And my problem is I don't really do blueprints on anything. I might do some rough sketches, but for something like this, I sort of get some measurements and then I go through and figure stuff out. And then I just build it. And then I don't write down exactly like how long this was, how long that was, or, I have them. I shouldn't say I don't exactly because I got to get out the list of materials so I can charge the customer, but I don't like put this angle is this long, or I do put that. Sorry. I put that, but I don't really like label it or anything. So I pulled out the old receipt with what notes I had. Plus this one is, what was it, about 9 inches wider than the other one. So we've got to refigure that out a little bit too, to make sure we've got enough length on it, but that it'll swing open. It's between two 4x4s, which are actually 3.5 by 3.5, we know, because of being plain. But we've got the hinge here. As usual, I'm using pre-made hinges just because it's cheaper and easier than if me making hinges for stuff like this. So we just want to make sure when it opens, it clears everything. So I've got it laid out on the table here. But yeah, I just sort of had to go through in my head and figure out from what notes I had and what notes I took of the gate, because I was over there the other day. That's the one where I put the new clothesline in. Or it won't be another day now because it'll be a while ago, but it's the same build for the same customer, or it's the same customer I did that build for. I had also done the gate for on her one porch, and like I said, now she wants this one on her front porch because she liked it so much. So nice loyal customer. That's always nice to hear. But anyways, I think I've got all the measurements figured out, so we can go start cutting material, and then we'll start working on getting it together. So let's get started. So we got the gate all tacked together, cut up, tacked together. See, I put these all in. Everything's tacked, squared. The next thing we're going to do before we weld is we're going to actually take this piece, straighten it out, straighten the bend here. So this is at a 90, and straighten this whole pin out. Sorry if that wasn't quite in frame. So then that way she can be put on the inside here, and we'll figure out how high we got to make it. And actually it'll be this side. Anyways, we'll get it bent so that we can get it so it'll latch onto the gate. So that is our next step. Then we'll go and start welding on this. That way this has a chance to cool down. But yeah, that's where we're at. Moving right along. So the gate's all done. Ready to install. I did make a couple little mistakes. For one, I put the bottom hinge on upside down, but luckily you can just pop the pin out and put the pin on the top. When I put the pin for the closure there, if you didn't notice, I used a spacer so that it's like it was flush against the beam that it's going to set against, so I knew I had the offset all right on that. You notice me heating up the angles. What happened was they bowed the one way, and you can see it a little bit here, and from all the welding on the one side. So what I was doing was heating the other side to try to get them to come back. This one, I got a bit of a kink in. I don't know how that happened. I don't know if I just got more heat in that area, or I don't know. But it's a gate. I still think the customer would be happy with it. I feel bad because it's not perfect. I always want everything to be perfect, but it can't always be perfect. And like I said, it's for a gate. That's on the bottom side. The one that the top side looks a lot better, looks a lot straighter. Not totally perfect, but that one's a lot better. But anyways, we'll do a video on the install because the last video I forgot to turn on my microphone, so I had to dub it all, so it sounded really dumb. So we'll do a new one when we install this one. But anyways, any comments, questions, concerns, big thumbs up if you like the comment, or if you like my stuff. Don't forget to watch my other videos here on YouTube, and we'll catch you on the next one. Bye.